Hey, welcome to another episode of Soap Goes to the Oscars. This is episode 79. I'm recording on March 22nd, 2025. And I started this movie yesterday, the 21st, and finished it this evening. And that movie was The Good Earth. This was the longest movie of the 1937 Oscars. It was available on the Internet Archive, so another free one. And I did not like it, but I'll get into that in a moment. Foreshadowing. The Good Earth is a 1937 American drama film about Chinese, keep that in mind, farmers who struggle to survive. It was adapted by Talbot Jennings, Tess Schlesinger, and Claudine West from the 1932 play by Owen Davis and Donald Davis, which was itself based on the 1931 novel of the same name by Nobel Prize winning author Pearl S. Buck. The film was directed by Sidney Franklin with uncredited contributions by Victor Fleming and Gustave Macadi. The film stars Paul Muni, white dude, Italian maybe, not sure, as Wang Lung. For her role as his wife Olan, Louise Rayner won an Academy Award for Best Actress. German actress, I believe, when I looked it up. Just German, but playing Chinese. Film also won the Academy Award for Best Cinematography for Karl Freund. It was nominated for Best Director, Best Film Editing, and Best Picture. The world premiere was at the Elegant Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles. Produced by Irving Thalberg and Albert Lewin. Cinematography, Karl Freund. Edited by Basil Rangel. Music by Herbert Stothart and Edward Ward. Production company, Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Distributed by Lowe's Inc. Released on January 29th, 1937, with a runtime of 138 minutes. See some production notes. The film's budget was $2.8 million, a small fortune at the time, and took 3 years to make. 500-acre farm in Porter Ranch, California, was transformed into a replica of Chinese farmland for this film. There's a lot here. I'm not going to read it all. When MGM inquired into the possibility of making the film in China, the Chinese government was divided on how to respond. Initial hostility derived from resentment of the novel, which critics charged focused only on the perceived backwardness of the country. Some government officials hoped to have control, which would be gone if the film work was done outside China. Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek himself intervened, perhaps at the behest of his wife, Madame Chiang, whose American education made her an advocate for cooperation. Permission was granted on condition that the view of China be favorable, that the Chinese government would supervise and have control of shots done in China, and the unenforced stipulation that the entire cast be Chinese. The government in Nanjing did not foresee the sympathy the film would create, and when MGM decided to shoot on location in China, officials took extraordinary steps to control the production, forcing the studio to hire a nationalist general to advise them on authentic settings and costumes. Most of this footage was mysteriously lost when it was shipped home and had to be reshot in California. There were reports that MGM distributed a different version of the film in China. The film's 1936 production lasted from February 28th to July 23rd. Thalberg died on September 14th, 4.5 months before its Los Angeles premiere on January 29th, 1937. Film credits stated that this was his last great achievement. Yeah, so this one, it was a little cringy because it was, very white actors playing Chinese characters. They didn't do, like totally offensive Chinese accents or anything. Most of them just had whatever their normal voice was. Paul Muni, the lead actor, sort of did a stilted speech that someone not familiar with English might speak, even though, they were in China, they wouldn't be speaking English. The lead actress I think she's German, and she just had her German accent. The guy that played Paul Muni's father If you look him up on IMDb, he just looks like an old prospector type character. And that dude just played an old Chinese man. So, it's a little cringy. Call me woke, whatever you want. But that sort of put me off a little bit. And from the beginning, I was just kind of like, uh oh. But it was kind of boring. I saw a lot of people on IMDb raving about it. And this one just wasn't for me. Like a lot of these movies so far in 1937, I didn't love it. I gave it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. So I'm just going to leave it there and keep this one pretty short. This one just didn't hit for me. And I don't know if it was the fact that it was a little cringy affected it. And I sort of tuned out because of that. I don't know. But it definitely played a part to some degree. So we'll leave it there and I'll see you next time.